You know, I've just realised why I've been ill this entire week. It's bloody witches. I blame the witches, crying out loud. It was a bad head and the stomach issues on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Had the cold for the past couple of days, and now I think I'm coming down with a bad, cough or something like that. So, I blame witches. Witches are bitches. Hello everyone, Liam Catterson here, and we're on episode 8 of series 11 of Doctor Who, which is called The Witchfinders. So, very interested to see how my favourite show does tackle with witches, because witches are not really a, popular subject for me. Not a subject that, I like, oh, let's read a story about witches. It's not something I'd be like, yes, let's do that. So I'll be interested to see how they do this, but I'm looking forward to this. Last week had a bit of optimism. It seemed for the community in general, because I saw a few comments that were like, well, I don't really like this series of Doctor Who much, but I really, really loved this episode, or that this episode felt like the most Doctor Who, which I don't know how you could describe what Doctor Who feels like, because it's all, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey, up, down, all around, and all that. So, at least for me. But, no, I saw a lot of positive reception, which was really, really good. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how we do tackle this episode. Extended reaction should be on Patreon tomorrow, hopefully. Google Drive needs to sort itself out, because, sometimes I've got to wait for hours, before we do post it. But, with that said, let's just check out Doctor Who, The Witchfinders, Episode 8, Series 11. Let's do this. Let's go. Oh, man. She cannot, condemn this.
You will be punished for your interference. The trials are sacred. They are
Would be the first time. Time Lords tried and they failed. No. It does test, your patience, doesn't it? Like, this accusation with humanity, they turn on each other. Dude, I'm not sure if you got the memo, but being creepy is not cool whatsoever.
Could never be the general.
Silly me. Must have got all confused. Mustn't I, boss?
Oh. Graham,
yeah,
you're gonna have to...
Northwest Division promoted
in front of the king.
And these are your underlings.
That's a bit
It's
of
a very flat team structure. We all have our area of expertise.
Even the wee lassie?
Even
Why
me.
do I feel like
Very
he's gonna get an
hungry.
uppercut?
Set
But
a woman to catch a woman.
those were the times,
Cunning
unfortunately.
moves using...
Yeah.
This is not good. Yeah, just always with the spade, just...
Are you alright? What's that?
Was there a bit of dirt on the camera work? If so, that's great. That was great camera work for some
I
reason.
want to help.
No one. That is why I need all these.
Just no one.
To ward off evil spirits. I'll be keeping an eye on you.
What's this?
Careful.
I was gonna say,
It's my prayer.
does he have some kind of thing
Essential for
with Ryan?
instructions. A true witch will not bleed.
'Cause I'm
if a mark
getting,
is pricked.
Vibes.
do you have one of these?
And not bad vibes.
I know everything about this place and my people.
And I know everything about Satan.
Do you, though?
Together.
And do
we'll
you?
find where he is hiding and cut him out. By nightfall, every last witch in this village shall be destroyed.
That does not sound comforting for this place.
Willa. My name's Jazz. This is the doctor.
You gotta think, though. You might
Where you
think you
going?
know everything, but you don't. It's poisoned. It's poisoned. She's a witch.
Are you not having any?
I feel too sick.
Oh, that's the excuse. That's
Do you
the
mind if I
excuse you
check
need.
over? Don't worry. I am a doctor.
What's that?
Specialist equipment.
That movement in the mud. It was Satan, wasn't it?
Doubt it. Not a big believer in Satan.
My granny used
I
to
was
say
gonna say, you
there's enough wonder in
countered
nature without
Satan,
making things up.
basically.
I like your granny.
Remember the Ood?
Stick with us. We'll stand up to Becca Savage and we'll make
We'll
this
get
place
through
safe
this
again.
somehow.
Do that.
Ah, we. That's good, Willa.
We're making
See, it feels
progress.
better already. Now, first things first. We need to get a sample of that mud. Oh,
It's the worrying thing, though. It's that power aspect compared to Yaz's
Not
story.
really.
Look at him. Alphonse's loyalty is rare and pure. It's only a matter of time before I inevitably get let down.
Why do you find it so hard to trust people?
Yeah.
But he'll keep me safe. As long as I do his work. Oh, that felt good. Thank you. Now we can have some fun. Eh, Ryan?
Just mud.
Put it down.
No sign of any tendency to tendril.
I'm gonna say I'm
Shouldn't be
loving
disappointed
King
about him.
James.
Not to kill her, but to fill her. Oh, check out my rhymes. Poetry under pressure.
For God's sake.
Oh, what are you doing?
Oh my God, this is
One of you,
morbid.
is it? Or part of you? Oh, no, not until you talk. Are you all one big mud?
Hey, we at least got an alien threat.
Taking the one body.
That's not
Doctor?
human, I guess. Oh,
Always good to
Jesus.
I've seen you with your wand raising your kin from the dead.
Oh my God. Here we
Hold on a sec. You are
go.
no Witchfinder's assistant.
Your
You are
witches
Satan's
in disguise,
acolyte, Tamlin.
yes.
That's why it's happening today, because you are here, as you say, to take over
Let's
this
just
village.
drop
You
the
know
whole
that's
witch shit.
I'm not a fool, Doctor. I am King James.
You can say that
Satan's
again, but
greatest
look,
foe.
Yeah,
look who
I
you
know.
got locked up.
It must be comforting.
Or
playing
roped
the
up.
part. Hiding behind a title.
Just as you hide behind Doctor, perhaps.
Ooh.
You should take
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong.
I can show you everything. If you stop being afraid of what you don't understand. If you trust me.
Go, Doctor.
I'm
Go.
not a witch. But if you want to defeat
Jumping to
evil,
conclusions
you
is
have
so
to let me go.
easy.
Now. Please, sire.
Man, I just love that passion from the Doctor. I love it. She charmed the ex.
Only one way to be certain.
Oh, no.
Summon the villagers.
How about no? I was wrong with that one and had a bit of hope. That was a great, little bit from Jodie, and it's like,
Whatever it is has only got worse, hasn't it? What was that?
ooh,
It reacted to your touch. Why?
she
I wanted to keep
is
quiet.
a,
Rather I ask Willa.
she's a witch.
Or I shall duck her too.
Last request. I definitely get a last request.
She's the
Lend us your
ringleader.
hand, okay?
I don't have one.
There's loads in your room. And an empty medicine bottle. What were you taking the medicine for, Becca?
Know this, Doctor. Once I have dealt with you,
To
I
blend
shall go after
in
all of your
more
friends.
better. Oh.
Giving you an order, obey only my king.
What
Please
the?
order her to be raised.
No one looking at her eye like.
They're witches, sire. All of them. It's Satan testing us.
Oh my God! What the hell? Jesus!
What's happened to her?
She's doing the best. She's doing the most Doctor thing possible.
But where is she? Look
It'll
at
be
her
right
there.
behind. Oh, there we go.
Morax,
Morax.
Who are you?
hand me your king.
What? Haven't you got your own king? Or is he hiding?
He does not hide. He waits.
Goodness.
The Morax army shall rise again and take form. Your king shall be filled with our king, and we shall be free to fill all
Sounds really, really
you,
grotesque. Like,
to fill
wrong.
this whole planet with rage and force and hate and Morax.
Oh.
Come on, Witchfinder.
You guys don't really seem like a delightful bunch. Just saying.
Scramble down into their primal form.
And they stay in prison until Becca Savage goes at that tree.
Well, it can't be much of a lock if she can break it.
It's hard. The road
They need to
for
upgrade
billions
their
of years,
security.
presumably. But she must have broke it enough for part of the Queen's form to escape and infect her.
Yeah, an
According to
accident.
my calculation,
Oh!
Witchfinder General back in command.
it's a very flat team structure. Ready for battle?
Yes, we are.
You don't
She's
have to,
joining
Willa.
in.
It's time to stop being scared.
A little bit of scared.
Oh.
Morax is...
Come to me, my love!
And now they want to turn you into one of them, basically. Oh boy, oh. Oof.
I may fear you, but I have my faith.
Gee.
Save me!
Or alternatively, Witchfinders United at your service.
Yeah, mate. You better back up.
Only power. We will fill your king and kill you all.
Can we just stop saying we will fill your king?
I've reactivated the prison. Back you go, King of the...
Nice. Get in there.
I will not go.
Yes, you will. Find the way!
You could say I don't want to go. Jesus, King. Well, he got his share. Gee. He got his share of the action.
Come back to London with me, Ryan.
He does. Oh my.
Be my protector.
Do I kind of ship it?
I mean, it's a kind offer, sire.
But yeah, I kind of ship
know.
it.
Down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger.
Graham.
Ezekiel,
Tarantino.
what are you all doing?
A brilliant man once said, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. We're just about to prove him right.
Yep. This has honestly been an enjoyable episode. Like, I wasn't expecting to... Whoa, don't you fall. I wasn't expecting too much, but I absolutely enjoyed that. And we got an alien, a proper alien threat, not some humanoid that makes I mean, of course, there's going to be that case of, the ugliness in humans, but the more focus was on the Morax, rather than, humanity turning against each other, and that was because, of the Morax, basically impersonating, Mistress Savage. So, and, getting what they want, because they wanted to ravage the world with hatred, and this is a great step, turn the people on each other, accuse them of witchcraft and all that kind of stuff. So I really loved it. I think this was one of my favourite episodes of Series 11, because I didn't come into this episode, because like I said at the beginning, I didn't really, I'm not really much of a fan favourite of witch stories in general, but I really, really loved, everything about, I loved a lot of things about this episode. I thought the ending with, the defeat of the Morax was a bit rushed in my opinion. But apart from that, I really, really enjoyed everything. I thought Alan Cumming, I think it was, he was one of the big, names attached to Doctor Who Series 11, if I recall. I thought he did tremendous as King James, and I thought his, character was really, really humorous a lot of the time. And I just really, really loved his interactions with Ryan, especially. It kind of, it kind of reminded me of, I don't know, Shakespeare. For some reason, it kind of reminded me with Shakespeare with Martha, which is funnily enough the Carrier Night episode, isn't it? So similarities there. But yeah, I really, really loved how, Mistress Savage, actually turned out to, be basically one of the ringleaders. She wanted her partner, the king, to emerge and consume King James. Thankfully that didn't happen, but I really, really enjoyed the story of her, about how the Morax came, basically, was released from their prison, which was a nice little disguise until, the real Mr. Savage accidentally broke the lock, which then we saw the Queen consume her. And I really, really loved that. We actually got to see it. Like I said though, just after the episode, we actually got to see an alien threat, like an alien threat. of course they were disguising themselves as humans, but, you know, it wasn't like a slap in the face to humanity, I feel. We did have that, you know, because here's the thing with this episode, I thought we were going to get like some kind of another lesson about humanity is the monsters, but we got an alien which, you know, wanted to spark hatred against the world. It was a malicious race. It wasn't, you know, teaching that humanity was wrong. It was a malicious race, and I really, really loved that. So I think this is going to make a few people pleased. It might make, you know, it might make a few people pleased that we've finally got a villain who is completely malicious, and it worked. Like, I thought the entire story was just really, really good. Like I said, I think the ending was a bit rushed, in my opinion. So that's the only really, really big issue that I had with this episode. But otherwise, I really, really loved the mystery going around with, you know, cause I think it was quite evident that there was something, I think, it was first picked up on, you know, the fact that this town was not going to, that it didn't exist in Graham's time, like, she would do something, heinous, so there was this mystique about, you know, Mrs. Savage and, how she, you know, might not be as, great as she seems to be, as King James, holds respect for, and, yeah, we finally got that with the Morax, so I thought they were a really, really interesting, set of enemies, and, now they're mainly back into their tree, so hopefully, you know, I don't know, could you put up a better disguise? I don't know, like a phylactery or something like that, like, I don't know, something that will never be opened or something like that, like a broken watch or something like that. I have no idea, but the tree is a perfect disguise because there's loads of trees around, isn't there? So, but like I said, unfortunately it was an accident on Mrs. Savage's part and she got consumed, thanks to her knocking down the tree because it was obstructing her view. And all hell literally did break loose because, the Queen was free and here we go. So I thought this was a really, really, fun episode and I really, really loved it. I also loved that little talk with, when the Doctor was accused of being a witch and, you know, we had that little one-on-one talk with, you know, King James and, she was trying to resonate with him. But not just that though, when he called her out on her using the name Doctor, I was thinking, oh shit, this is good. Because, like, and I think it works really, really well considering the fact that, you know, King James throughout this episode was a really, really humorous character and you just couldn't help but love, you know, Alan Cumming as King James. But I thought that scene was like an ouch scene to the Doctor, especially with, you know, the fact that she does choose to use the name the Doctor. So, you know, I thought that was a really, really great scene to see. One thing I am going to be worried about is I'm going to see a lot of, you know, comments saying, oh, like, males are being attacked here, because, you know, your main hero is a female, and, you know, they are saying, with King James' comments about, you know, not listening to the Doctor because she's a female and all of that, but, you know, that's gonna literally be the times, and, I think one of the main concerns about, the Doctor being a woman is the fact that we're going to go into certain time periods where women were not respected. Kind of like if there was going to be a black actor playing the Doctor. We will get to that stage eventually, and we're going to potentially deal with race issues. So which is going to really, really be uncomfortable. So, of course, there's going to be that risk that should be explored, and we got that. That's really the only issue, considering, you know, the Doctor's of a gender, because you just worry that people are going to be like, white males are being portrayed as the villains and all of that. Because I've seen a few of those comments, and I'm not going to lie, it's going to be like, oh, for crying out loud, here we go. We want a nice civil chat. I'm open to any civil, friendly chats about, you know, how the Doctor was being a dork as usual, because that's one of the things I love about this Doctor. She is a complete dork. So yeah, especially the apple bobbing scene. She was like, apple bobbing! I was like, of course you would do that, but you just love her. But yeah, I really, really, enjoyed this episode. It was really, really good. There's nothing else I can really say apart from the fact that the Moraks were really, really, the story behind them once everything came to fruition. The Moraks, yeah, they were basically, causing devastation, especially with the fact that, we have, as much bloodshed in disguise as possible with this witchcraft thing, and if you want to cause a ruckus, especially 18th century, then you've got a great opportunity with this accusation. Oh, she's a witch and all of that. So you can sit back and enjoy it whilst you accuse innocents of being witches. So they really, really made in terms of the whole witch aspect, I think they really, really created a great way, especially with the inevitable, Mr. Savage reveal. So yeah. I'm surprised my voice is holding up because I'm developing, because I was dying on the live stream, so I'm trying not to risk it as much as possible, but it's holding up well. It's holding up well for now, but now I've jinxed it. Yaz's comment as well. I'm loving how she's being inspirational, how she was being inspirational, to that girl, which was really, really nice stuff to see. Yeah, it was just really, really fantastic of an episode, and I just, enjoyed it. King James was absolutely barking mad, but you just love him. And I really, really feel like cause I think one of the other complaints has been, the Doctor hasn't, per se there's been other ways of defeating, the villains, and the Doctor for the most part defeated, most of the Moraks, but, King James gave the finishing blow, which, created a bit of a mood for the Doctor, understandably so, because, he kind of went, I wouldn't say Leroy Jenkins, but, he was on the edge, wasn't he? So, yeah, in terms of, especially, you've just gotten an alien race holding a king captive, not gonna fly well with the king. So, yeah, even if he's, even if his personality is humorous and all of that. So, yeah. There's something else I wanted to comment about. I don't know. I mean, I would comment about the religious aspects as well, but I don't really think, it was too bad especially with witchcraft and that, I really, really just loved overall I loved the dialogue, especially, this is, the whole Satan work and all of that, so I really, really loved it. No, but the dialogue throughout the episode was absolutely great. Just my only problem was the rushed ending, in my opinion, so, yeah. I think one of the problems with Doctor Who this series is, I think there's an appropriate time length for Doctor Who with the 50 minutes. It's just, sometimes they can't find an accurate pacing. Maybe a scene might go on for or maybe they've included a scene that didn't really need to be there, and that costs certain scenes like it did with this. I think, the scene on defeating the Moraks could have, been more better executed if it was given a bit more time. I just felt it was, the Moraks in general, I thought, there could have been a bit, they could have halved it, if anything, so I feel like it was just, I don't know, crammed, if anything, but that's my only issue with this. The final part was a bit rushed, but otherwise it was just stellar, and I just, loved the fact that we got an actual, alien threat. I mean, yes, it did, consume bodies, but it didn't, insult the human, it didn't show a message that's deemed like the human race were the villains in any case, in my opinion. They just used human bodies. Kind of I don't know. This might be a shitty comparison, but it's kind of like the symbiote, isn't it? It can bring out the worst in people, as we know for Spider-Man and all of that, but, you know, it's an alien that, you know, uses a human host as a body. So, yeah. Yeah, it was just really, really great. So I think it was really enjoyable, really fun. And one of the best episodes this series of Doctor Who, which is funny considering Kablam was one of the best episodes as well. So it's having a strong second half. I think the first half was a bit wobbly. Especially, the Saranga conundrum, but it's certainly proving to be a really, really enjoyable second half because, the Demons episode was really, really great and is, probably the second best episode in my opinion. In my opinion, The Woman Who Fell to Earth is still the best episode, for me. And then the, Demons of the Punjab. And I don't know, I think this is going to be third in terms of my top episodes, with Kablam fourth. So yeah, it's having a really, really strong second half of Series 11, which is really, really good, and I'm just hoping the penultimate episode carries on that. So yeah, it's had a wobbly first kind of half, but the second half of this series has absolutely been fab so far. So yeah, that's all I can really say to it. So a really enjoyable episode, great little dialogue, like great dialogue entirely, but like I said, going to the Doctor and King James's scene, really, really loved that, and you know how, and the story, and King James' story, and how, you know, hurt, like you can see that hurt in his eyes as well, like when he was talking about his mother, his family. Yeah, it was just and that trust, and you know how, you know, he you know, I think the guy deserves a hug. So yeah, just from that episode alone. But yeah, it was just really, really fantastic stuff. So I really, really enjoyed this episode. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check the videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my BT Pizza channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!